In this video, I'm going to be talking through a specific suburb in each of the 6 council areas covering across southeast Queensland. We're going to be talking about the Gold Coast, Brisbane, Logan, Redlands, Moreton Bay, and Ipswich, and I'm going to be talking you through a specific suburb where we may see value at this point in time based on what's happening on the ground. And a lot of these are going to be some locations we've recently done client deals in the buyer's agency at Purpose Property. And speaking of the buyer's agency, if you do want help, head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in a chat with myself for 20 minutes where we can sit down and talk through exactly how we can help you secure your next property, whether it's in southeast Queensland or even in the Melbourne market, as we're expanding the buyer's agency into Melbourne completely as a boots on the ground buyer's agent into 2026. Now let's kick off. There's been a lot happening on the ground in 2025 in terms of property prices and demand from both owner occupiers and investors. And we recently bought a property in Brisbane in a suburb called Arana Hills. We bought this property for some first-time buyers. And the Hills District on the western side, the northwestern side of Brisbane, is an area that is landlocked. It's landlocked by the forest. It's got access to the train line, and there's money going into that location. For our owner-occupiers, they'd spent months and months searching by themselves, and they'd gone to auctions, they'd attended open homes, they put in so many offers. But in the end, they decided to sign up to the buyer's agency after one of their family members had worked with myself and the team at Purpose Property before that. And we were able to help them secure their own home for around that $1.15 million in that Hills District location. The thing about the Hills District is there's going to be more money pouring into that area because it's driven by owner-occupiers, not so much investors. There's some knockdown rebuilds happening. There's good school zones. There's access to the Bunya Nature Reserve. So it's an area I definitely keep my eye on if you've got that low $1 million kind of price point up to that $1.5 million range to get a blue chip asset on the northwestern side of Brisbane. Jumping down to the Gold Coast, there's so many suburbs, and the Gold Coast is a location that's on fire. And there's good reason we've expanded the buyer's agency there because it's Australia's largest regional market. And really, there is more and more connection between Brisbane and the Gold Coast at this point in time. One of those connection points is hopefully opening up very soon, and that's the stage 1 of the Coomera Connector, which is a major motorway upgrade that's happened on the Gold Coast and still happening as we speak. There's multiple stages planned. Now, the suburb I'm picking on the Gold Coast late in 2025 is Southport. The reason being is Southport is relatively affordable compared to a lot more of the Gold Coast suburbs along the beach side. There's been really strong house and unit growth in this location over the last few years. And there's a few other key factors. There's some major infrastructure in the hospital. There's some rail networks that you can access. There's ongoing development in that location, very popular schools. And again, just like the Brisbane market, this Southport market is largely driven by owner-occupiers, meaning people are willing to pay more for property in these locations. So that would be my pick. It's on the northern Gold Coast. I think it's landlocked in terms of my opinion. It's got opportunity both in the house and the unit market. Just be very careful in the unit market because the Gold Coast does have notoriety for creating more and more high-rise buildings. So I'd be leaning towards townhouses and houses in the Southport market on the Gold Coast. And you need a healthy budget down there. Gold Coast is a very expensive market in general, but it's just something to be wary of if you are having a look on the Gold Coast at this point in time. Moving through to Redlands City Council. We recently bought in this suburb that I'm going to disclose for some of our interstate investors, and they purchased just over the $1 million price point for around $1,030,000 for around a 700 square meter block with granny flat potential with dual street frontage and a fairly large home in terms of the floor plan. Now, this suburb is called Thornlands, and I think it's one of the lowest growth suburbs over the last decade and is due to have some very strong growth in the next 3, 5, 7, and 10 years based on the underlying data. You've got to be careful about where you buy in Redlands City Council because there is some infill projects, particularly around Redland Bay. But this Thornlands property was on that oversized block, so around that 700 square meters. It had ability to add a 1-bed, 1-bath, or even a 2-bed, 1-bath granny flat with its own frontage off to the side. And there was additional parking space there as well. So this could be an A-grade opportunity for the right type of investor with a budget around that low $1 million mark, where you can get growth in the Redlands region, you can buy scarcity in terms of location, and head up to Cleveland to access the train line into Brisbane CBD. So definitely an area you want to consider in Redland City Council. There's some other good opportunities in that whole region, but Thornlands in particular, I think, is a suburb that's going to be pitted for some strong growth in the near future. Let's head up north to Moreton Bay, an area I know very, very well because I did a project in Moreton Bay called the Bray Park Bomb in 2024, where Emily and I purchased a deal at auction for, would you believe, $640,000, which is a crazy number compared to what prices are in that region as we speak. But the suburb I'll be talking about in this video is a suburb called Launton. Now, Launton tends to get not the lion's share of the interest. People tend to talk about Petrie or Strathpine or the Redcliffe Peninsula. Now, one of the reasons I picked Launton or even /Joyner is you can get 4-bed, 2-bath homes on 500 square meter blocks in these locations. Now, this is not the typical asset that I would personally buy because I'm personally a more aggressive style of investor. I like levers that I can pull to add value and force opportunity, increase cash flow. But there's lots of investors and in the buyer's agency, lots of owner-occupiers and investors who don't want that. They don't want their weeks taken up making phone calls and managing trades and doing projects or building secondary dwellings. So if you're looking in the Launton region, it's just outside of Brisbane City Council, about 10 minutes outside of the region of Brisbane City Council. There's a train line running into Brisbane City from that suburb. And you get those 4-bed, 2-bath homes for around that $800,000 to $950,000 price point, where you're getting a solid block, a large floor plan, and a home that's really set and forget. And so if you're looking for those deals that are easy, sit into your portfolio, you hold them for 5 to 10 years, Launton and Joyner would definitely be my pick at the moment in Moreton Bay Council. And I think when you look at the rebuild value of these types of opportunities, that's where the real value lies when you buy that type of deal. Because building those types of homes could be $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 at this point in time, and the land value is definitely going up over $500,000, $600,000, $700,000. You generally have strong inherent value in terms of the rebuild value when you're buying a deal sub $1 million in those locations. Definitely one to watch if you're looking in the Moreton Bay region. Now, the next one on our list is in the Logan region. I actually grew up in Logan. I lived there in that region for over 20 years. And the suburb I'm picking is one I've mentioned on the YouTube channel before, and that is Beenleigh. We just bought a deal for a client for $780,000 with renovation value add potential, rear access along the left-hand side to build a secondary dwelling at a later date. And this was the client's first property purchase in Australia's market. And so this was a critical deal for John, the client, because it needed to be a sounding board and a landing pad for him to start and build the property portfolio. Now, the reason I really like Beenleigh is the land sizes. You're generally getting 600, 700, even 800 square meter blocks. You can buy the houses for around that $750,000 to $950,000 price point. It's got its own main city as a town center. Don't buy too close to the town center, in my opinion, because there is some higher crime rates in the center of town, but stick to the more suburban areas with bigger blocks and upside potential. And that's exactly what we were able to help John buy around that $780,000 price point just a month or two ago. The great thing about Beenleigh is it's located between Brisbane and the Gold Coast. So it's really a sweet spot right along the M1 with train line access. There's even future upgrades in terms of infrastructure with the Coomera connector planning to plug in around Eagleby just nearby. And so it's certainly a hot spot in terms of gentrification, where people are buying, renovating, adding value to these homes. A lot of first home buyers buying in this area and sprucing up properties, young tradies, young families. So it's a pocket to watch in Logan City Council that's very affordable relative to a lot of the other opportunities out there. And the last one on our list is in Ipswich. This is a suburb that I have personally purchased 2 deals in 2025 myself. And that is Bundamba. It's located along the train line between Brisbane and Ipswich. The reason I think this suburb is so undervalued is that it's in a great location. It's got a large section of the suburb that is flood free, and I bought 2 properties up on the hill, and you can go watch other videos there to see me break down those opportunities. But Bundamba is really well located. It's gentrifying, it's growing quickly, it's on massive block sizes, 600 to 1,000 square meters plus. The buy prices at the moment are between $750,000 to $850,000. And the yields are 4 to 4.5% depending on the deal. It's a great opportunity, reasonable cash flow, and upside, so much so that I specifically bought 2 deals myself just 6 months ago in that suburb. That's it for today. I just wanted to give you all my thoughts across the 6 councils in Southeast Queensland. So if you're looking at any of these regions or councils across Southeast Queensland, head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in a chat with myself. If you're interested in using myself and the team to represent you as your buyer's agent to help you secure your next property purchase. In addition to that, we are servicing the Melbourne market as well. So I'm going to do another video breaking down, there's a lot more councils in Melbourne, so I probably won't cover it by council, but I'm going to be breaking down similar 5 or 6 suburbs in a video very soon, unpacking locations where we are actively buying as buyer's agents who have expanded into the Melbourne market. So head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in that free chat. Like the video and give this video a click somewhere over here so you can see more videos on real estate, renovating, and financial freedom. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.